This is the Effing Business Podcast. You ask the questions, we answer.
Welcome back to the podcast. Aaron. What's up, buddy?
Long time no see.
Long time.
Yep.
Alrighty. Want to talk about today with you is the next 5 years and what's your business goals, where you want to be. Is there industry you want to get into?
I don't have a specific industry that I want to be in. I'm not passionate about like specific business industries. I'm passionate about running businesses. I think that we started an adjusting company. It's turned into we have now a marketing company. And to the outside world, when people ask us like, why are you in marketing? Like for us, it was a really natural shift.
Right.
So we went from creating our own in-house marketing department that evolved into a separate company. So for us, it was like a really normal shift. And that's kind of what I want to do. I want to be able to constantly shift or create things in-house that we can, easily move into the next demographic,
Right, yeah.
and not just go out and create a business that we don't have any
Right. So
back.
5 years ago, I wasn't thinking let's open a marketing company. I mean, I think 5 years ago we were just like almost getting into marketing in itself. So like to say, in 5 years I'd like to be in X industry, I agree with you. I think the cool part is keeping that open mind and really, with the marketing company, we did ourselves, but not only did we do ourselves and we said, we have this in-house marketing people, let's open a company because of it. People were asking us what we're doing. People were asking us like, hey, could you help me out? Right. So there was the desire from people outside of ourselves, and we sort of said, okay, hey.
And we were confident that we can do this
right,
well.
Exactly. So like what's the next industry? I don't know. I just know it will all know when it's there.
Everything you do in life, you create a byproduct of some kind. Right. And sometimes or most often you ignore that byproduct. Right. When you pay attention to that byproduct and feel like this can be monetized, that's another business for you.
Right.
Or that's
and
another revenue stream.
It could be bigger than the business that it creates the byproduct.
Correct.
So I think for me, that's what I've learned with Bulldog Marketing, like with opening the marketing company. I think that's what I've sort of learned is that like maybe I don't need to sit here and look for the new industry or look to create, right? Just take a byproduct or take something we're doing and make it profitable. Make that segment, that one thing, maybe profitable or even more than just profitable, a huge driver of revenue.
Right. And I think risk is doing something that you don't know. You don't know about it. You don't know what you're doing.
Been there, done that.
Right. So like I don't know that I wanted to go and do that. Right. I don't want to necessarily go and open another business or acquire another business that's far away from what we're doing in some capacity.
Right.
At least at this point. Maybe down the road, where we have more to wager, so to speak. But in the meantime, let's take what we're doing, figure out how to monetize parts of that, and then turn that into other businesses because we already have like the structure, we have the management, we have all those processes in place, and it's just now extending the business side of it to those byproducts, so to speak.
Right.
And that's what I like to do.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's not to harp on it, but I think that really opened my eyes to not pushing yourself to find the next industry or to be something we weren't or are not, right? It's really sort of find your comfort zone, find your place where you think, and then create those. Look at your byproducts, look at what you're doing, how you can expand, and slapping a label on something that you were doing already and calling it Bulldog Marketing or another service outside of the adjusting industry and things like that, where it becomes, that's a whole nother business. It's not the business I started in this, but like it's a new business, it's a new venture. It's yes, it's all in the realm. Yes, it's in the circle of things we do, but it's not what the main thing we were doing. So it's not the same business. So it's a new business. And I think people go into it thinking, what's my next industry? What's the next thing I want to conquer or be a part of, right? Like, I think real estate's really cool. I don't know how I'm going to get there to get in 5 years to get into real estate. Maybe it's within the industry. Maybe it's with the marketing. Maybe it's with the thing I don't know it's going to happen in 2 years.
So we've created a couple of byproducts at this point. Bulldog Marketing is our biggest byproduct to date. If you're somebody out there, you're listening to this, and you're saying to yourself, okay, I have a byproduct. How do I know if my byproduct is ready to be another business, right?
It's a commodity.
Correct. We have that vision. We're always looking, but others necessarily don't. A lot of people are very into like sticking to what they do well.
We have a certain company right now that isn't really off of the ground yet. It's infancy.
You got it, infancy.
Something like that. So
childlike state.
Yeah, childlike state. And I sit I sat a long time for the last couple of days, weekends, and trying to figure out who else could use this product, right? Because it is very segmented to a small, narrow market, but who are the big players in that, and how I can expand it outside of ours, right? Aaron actually came with the idea a while ago. I always poo-pooed it because I was like, who's going to pay us for this? Who's going to do it? And it's really started to catch some traction where I'm seeing more of, hey, we can put some gas on this fire and make it. I just got to find where I find that gas.
So how does the regular entrepreneur do that with their business? How do they, one, identify byproducts that they're creating,
right,
and two, take that byproduct to market and sell that as a separate revenue stream or a separate entity?
I think you
altogether?
could look throughout your whole process, front end, back end, the customer service side, and see where you're underutilizing those services.
Right.
If you're good at customer service, well, then maybe you should sell your customer service package to other people, right? If you're an insurance agent and you really suck at record keeping, right? So maybe you should, maybe there's services, and this happens all the time. There's services that take care of your records for you. So that person said there was a need, I filled it.
Right.
Same thing. If you know you're good at something,
so find what you're good at that you're not necessarily selling as a standalone product.
You're not monetizing it all.
Right.
Even if it's just a break-even level, right? So before you're paying for all your customer service people to be working on your stuff alone, right? So we do adjusting, and we've created a customer service platform. We have a management system that really works, and we've never utilized it. We utilize it for ourselves, and it's sort of like proprietary, but it's not. We could use that
customize it for anybody.
We could customize it for anybody, and I can make it sell to anybody, right? So there's a need from other people within my industry, and I can use that same thing I'm doing to make money off of what they're doing, instead of being sort of, I don't want to say greedy and saying,
but we've created a solution that can fit other people.
Correct.
And to this point, we've had a really good response to it.
Yeah.
Right. In a very small rollout.
Sample size, right.
Right. So exactly, sample size. So what you're saying is examine what you're good at, be honest about it, and then see how you could create that package and then market it to
and maybe see who would buy that, who would be interested in buying. For example, marketing.
Go out there, speak to people.
Yeah, marketing was easy because it's every business, right? Every business needs marketing in some shape or form. Maybe it's not digital marketing, but every business is going to need some type of marketing in some way, and so that was easier. But we didn't go into it thinking we're going to open a company in a year or two, right? We were doing marketing for ourselves, right? And if nobody came to us and said, "Hey, could you help me?" or "What are you doing?" so on and so forth, we may never have opened one. Right, we may be sitting there we're doing a great job, we're doing a good job, but cool, wonderful, right? Why should I pay a marketing agency? I can do it myself. That's sort of how my mindset went. Until people come up and keep coming and bother, hey, what are you doing? I really like your videos. I really like this. I really like that. It's okay, maybe I can charge people to do this because they really obviously, want my advice. They actually listening, so maybe they'll pay me for my advice. Maybe they'll pay us to do this work for them.
So I think this is the trap you have to try not to fall into. This is one area to be mindful of. You and I talked about all the things we could be doing years ago,
right?
But we weren't ready for it, right? So we said, okay, if we do this, then we could sell that. If we do this, we can do that. But we hadn't been doing those things yet.
We haven't created the nucleus yet.
Correct. So I think you were like, oh, slow down. Let's get there, and then we can do that.
Mr. Google.
We've gotten to that point,
right?
Where we're actually doing it now. Things that we didn't even think of, but we're doing things that we can then spin off and create, its own revenue stream or its own entity kind of thing. So I think that's where you have to be mindful. Don't perceive a byproduct and then try to sell it. Actually sell the byproduct you've already created.
And never lose focus on your main product.
Exactly, because that's what's going to happen. You're going to start going off and saying, oh, I can do this also, and then you haven't actually done it yet, and then your main hustle, what you're doing for the majority of your revenue starts to suffer because you're developing something that doesn't even exist yet.
Right.
Sell the byproduct that actually exists, right? And then you can kind of focus on both at that point. But don't go and say, oh, I think I can do this, but it's not in place yet.
Exactly. Don't forget what got you there.
And just be mindful that the byproduct that you're going to go and market already exists, not something that you envision or you want. It has to be there,
right?
Because otherwise you don't know if you're good at it, right? I think we were confident in marketing that we can do this for others because we were confident about the result we were getting ourselves,
right?
And that's the thing. You want to sell what you're good at, not things that you perceive to be good at.